Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thousands of memories are created and captured in each photo taken on your magical vacation. We proudly present Capturing Magic, where we help those moments live on forever.
Hey everyone, welcome to Capturing Magic Minnie, where we are discussing your tips, tricks, and ideas for creating and capturing magic. You can find links to our show notes for this show at capturingmagic.me. I'm Steph, and I am joined today by my co-host, Brittany Levitt, who can be found at britishdesigns.com. Hi, Britt.
Hi, Steph. Hi, everybody.
I'm excited for our new little thing we have.
Our little mini show.
Our mini show, yeah. So let's share with our listeners kind of what we're going to be doing. We will be recording several mini shows where we will answer your questions, or we will share with our listeners your tips that you've sent in to us. So if you have some tips that you would like to share or a question, please email us at mail@capturingmagic.me. and we can use it in a future show. And so they're just going to be super short shows, and we'll be releasing them on Saturdays is our plan.
It's fun.
It's
like a little weekend treat. Fun show treat. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're excited about it. And we're not going to include picks in these shows. We're going to try and just cover one topic and keep it short and sweet and simple. So we're really excited about it.
Yeah, and it's fun to include your tips, tricks, and ideas instead of our tips, tricks, and ideas. It's because your tips and ideas give us ideas. So
yeah. Exactly. So do you want to jump in then, I guess, Britt, and read our first tip?
Yep. Today's mini tip is one that we got from our survey that went out in our newsletter. It wasn't given it doesn't have a name on it, so this is an anonymous entry, but somebody wrote in and said, I've started taking photos of the menus so I can see how much the prices change over the years, and it helps me when it comes time to journal on my scrapbook page. And I thought that was a great tip for a couple reasons. One is it's so fun to see how the park changes over the years, prices and other ways, rides change, etc. So it's a fun way to document. It's a fun idea to document the changes over the years.
Perfect.
Because I don't know about you, Steph, but I love looking at like old pictures of Disneyland, especially like the vintage pictures, to see like, oh my gosh, look at those trees. They're so gigantic, or, oh, they're so tiny, or, just the way that the park ages. I love to see that kind of thing. So taking pictures of prices, I mean, how fun would it be to see a picture of a menu from like the 60s or,
70s.
Yeah, to see how cheap things were. Wish for those days.
To now.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do you take any pictures like that of like?
I do take pictures of menus quite often. Some of the other ways that I like to document how much money we've spent on the trip. I don't necessarily always include it in my scrapbooks, but some of the other ways that I document prices and things like that is by keeping receipts. Of course, I always keep every single receipt from the parks. And then I also have an app on my phone that's called I Check Bow, I think is what it is. I Check Balance.
Yeah, I think you picked it once for one of our picks.
Okay. And so then I did. And so then I can track all of our expenses that way as well. And so it's good. It's been good for me to be able to go back through the years and see, how much did we spend on food last time we went, or how much do I need to change? Do I need to budget? And how much did this cost at that place? It's been really interesting to be able to go back and look at that.
Yeah, I actually that's a very helpful idea for me too. After you picked that as your pick from one of our past shows, I made a note to use that next time so that we can really know how much a trip costs, so that when we're planning another one, we can do a better budget. Because we always try to budget for our trips and we always try to estimate. But we are not very good at like really keeping track of
knowing.
Yeah. Well, maybe Josh just kind of does that side of the trip. So maybe he knows better than I do. But then it feels like when you want to plan a trip, it's not like, oh, well, we can't afford it. Or maybe you don't really know if you can. So
right.
You need to do a better budget. But also how interesting would it be to see how much your parents spent on a Disneyland trip for you when you were little? You know, it would be interesting.
That would be, yeah.
I would love to know how much my parents had to pay to take us to Disneyland when I was little.
That would be really interesting. I agree. Just, I mean, because it's something that we could probably Google and figure out park prices or ticket prices and things like that. But meals, I think that's a little more difficult to figure out. I mean, how long has Dole Whip been in Disneyland? When did it come? I don't know. But what were the prices back in the day?
Yeah. It would be fun to have a scrapbook page about that.
I agree. Really interesting.
Yeah. And then one of the other things I thought about is it's sort of a little bit of a tangent here, but just documenting how your kids change over the years in the same spot. And I know that some people have had this idea to take their kids' picture in the same spot, you know, on every trip. And because somebody had done that, now we do that with Scarlett. We've done it since her first trip. And it's incredible to see how she changes and just have her in that same little spot. We try to be careful to pick a spot that we knew, or we hope never changes, you know, that's never like something that gets taken out and then we're screwed, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like they did with the teacup for the right teacup ride car for a little while. It was gone and now it's back. Well, where we do ours at the Sword in the Stone, facing the castle. So not facing the carousel, but facing the other way, so the castle's in the background. And it's a cute spot. You know, there's usually people in the background and stuff, but who cares? Because that's also fun to see. Like when I see old pictures of Disneyland and I see those people in their like fancy 50s outfits, I'm like, wow, they dressed up so cute to go to Disneyland. I love seeing that. So I don't care if there's people in the background, but it's part of the story.
I think so. Yeah. So that's where we take her picture every time. And then usually when I come home, I put them side by side just to look at them. And then or put them in the scrapbook side by side. And I saw a scrapbook page that somebody had done that with their kids, and they have done it for 15 years. And so it's so cute to see her little kids and then her big kids all in the same spot.
Really great idea. It makes me wish that I had all of these great ideas when we started taking our kids to the parks.
Start it now. Who cares?
Forever ago. Well, I've got a 16-year-old. I mean, that's kind of
if I had a picture of me from when I was 16 to when I'm 32, I would love that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we do always do the icons, like, you know, the castle and the park icons. We always do pictures in front of those every single trip. Right. So
just put those all together.
I need to make a collage, I think.
So too. But I think when we have more kids, I think we'll just put them in the pictures together. I mean, I don't think we'll do like individual pictures.
Individuals.
No.
If you have a dozen kids, you'll be there all day taking pictures.
Have a dozen kids. But I think that would be so cute. I think teenagers is a fine place to start. Start it whenever.
Yeah, you can start it whenever. Yeah, I like the idea of taking pictures of the menus, not only for the prices, but also for what was on the menu, the food options that were there as well. Yep. Because I've talked before about how food is such a big part of my vacation. And so being able to see what was on the menus and what we chose versus what the other choices were, I think is a lot of fun to be able to compare.
I think that's really fun. Especially if you're big into the food on your trip. Like it makes sense to take pictures of the menus.
Yeah, I always take pictures of the menus and the food that we eat. Everybody has to have their photo of their food taken.
Nobody take a bite till Mom takes a picture.
Exactly.
I always forget because I get too excited. So my pictures always have like a few bites and it's not a bite. Yeah, I got to get in a better habit. If we eat somewhere fancy, then I do. But yeah, my corn dog, I can never get a picture of it before I chow down on it because I'm too excited.
Now I'm hungry.
No,
it's not good.
We were just talking before we started recording that we're both like starving.
This is not good to be talking about this while we're both super hungry. So yeah, I think, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that, or are we about ready to wrap this tip up?
I think that's good for that tip. I can't think of anything else. Thanks for whoever sent it in to us. That's a good tip and obviously a good little prompt for our little conversation here today. So
yeah, perfect. So if you have some tips that you would like to share with us, please email us at email@capturingmagic.me. And Britt, do you want to remind our listeners where they can find you?
I'm at britishdesigns.com. Same old. That's my shop blog, all that stuff is. So
Perfect. You can find me at capturingmagic.me as well as thedailydigi.com. And we will be here next week where we will be capturing magic.